Let us study the book of Proverbs together. Growing in Wisdom. It is one of my favorite books in the Bible, the book of Proverbs. And the Lord used King Solomon to share that wisdom with us. And King Solomon was known to be one of the wisest men in his time. But before we go into the book of Proverbs, I want to share King Solomon's story with you. And it does not begin with Solomon, it begins with his parents. You see, King Solomon's parents were King David and Bathsheba. Who is Bathsheba, and why is it from all the women that King David had that God chose Bathsheba's son, King Solomon, to be the next king? It's very interesting. I will start with just telling you the story. One day, King David walked out to his balcony and he saw a woman bathing. Her name was Bathsheba, and she was married to a general of the army named Uriah. She was a married woman, and when David saw her, he desired her, and he asked for her. David sent messengers and took her, and she came to him. 2 Samuel 11:4. When Bathsheba became pregnant, David tried to hide his sin. When that failed, he arranged for her husband to go to battle, make sure that he would not return. God saw everything and he was displeased. And he sent the prophet Nathan to go speak to King David. So when the prophet Nathan came to David, David did not hide his sin. He repented and he cried out to God. Now, I want you to understand that there are consequences for sin, because David was supposed to have a son and he wanted that son to live. He ended up losing his son because of the consequences that sin brought, because David did not just sleep with Bathsheba, but he took the life of her husband. 2 Samuel 12:13 says that David repented. He repented before God, and God forgave him. And even though there were consequences, God did not abandon David. Out of his repentance, God brought redemption. And later, Bathsheba would give birth to King Solomon. This story reminds us the simple truth that sin has consequences. However, repentance opens the door to mercy. God is able to bring grace to a broken story. God does not approve of sin. He redeems the repentant heart. Solomon's story is very powerful because it is a story of grace. Solomon, if we look through the eyes of man, he was not qualified to be the next king. However, God chose him. Not only that, Jesus would come out through the bloodline of Solomon. Grace is what God gives us. Grace is when God gives us what we do not deserve. It is his love, his mercy, and a new beginning. Solomon is the son of Bathsheba. His family history is not perfect. It includes sin, mistakes, and pain. Many people think that that kind of past would be disqualified for anyone, especially to be a king. But God chose different. When Solomon became king, he wanted to honor God. So he gave the Lord a great offering. Solomon loved the Lord and he offered sacrifices to the Lord. And in 1 Kings 3-5, it says that the Lord went to visit Solomon in a dream. And in the dream, God asked Solomon, "Ask me whatever you will, and I will give it to you." And Solomon did not ask for riches, nor did he ask for power or long life. He asked for wisdom. Let's read 1 Kings 3:9. Give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people, and to distinguish between right and wrong. He did not ask anything for himself, but instead he asked for a gift to serve others. And God was so pleased with his request. 1 Kings 3:11-12, he replies to him and says, "Because you have asked for wisdom, I will give you wisdom and a discerning heart, but along will come riches, long life, and blessings." God gave him greater wisdom than anyone before him. Solomon's life reminds us of this truth. Grace means that your past does not cancel your purpose. God honors the hearts that honor him. And God gives wisdom to whoever asks for it. Solomon was chosen not because his story was perfect, but because God is gracious.